Immigrant women in detention centers in the US are being forcibly sterilized. That has been revealed by a nurse who previously worked at a facility in Georgia. So, what is ICE and what's really going on inside its facilities? ICE is the acronym for the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, an agency within the Department of Homeland Security that is responsible for preventing illegal immigration and the unlawful traffic of goods into the US. It was created in 2003 following 9/11, but more recently it has become a symbol of the US government's aggressive immigration policies, has focused on removing any illegal immigrant, not just those who have committed serious crimes. It has been chasing immigrants, whether they are crossing the border or living inside the US without proper documents, and detaining them. And the detention centers?
They're either owned and run by a private company or a non-dedicated facility, which is an actual prison that houses both criminal and immigrant detainees.
There are currently 200 immigrant facilities and over 70% of people are being held in privately run facilities. Even though the majority of them don't have a criminal record, a quarter of the immigrants are held in prisons. The detainees have no right to a lawyer, and since many of them don't speak English, they're often vulnerable to abuse. Women can be forced to undergo hysterectomies. The whistleblower nurse we mentioned earlier, she said a high rate of these surgeries were performed on immigrant women at the ICE facility she worked at, and that the women who protested or spoke out against the procedure were forced into solitary confinement. The doctors allegedly didn't even use proper anesthesia during the surgeries. And what's even more alarming is that some of these women reportedly had their wombs removed without fully understanding or even approving the operation. The doctor performing these surgeries was subsequently dubbed as the uterus collector, and the ICE center was likened to an experimental concentration camp. Hysterectomies have in fact been a common practice in US history, mostly used against women of color. It's interpreted as a move to stop immigrant women from bearing children. But let's talk a little bit about ICE's treatment of children. ICE has also been allegedly involved in the detention of immigrant children separated from their parents.
Allegations surface that many of these children are being held at black sites with no access to the outside world.
And there's a high chance they are being abused and neglected. This is contradictory to one of ICE's self-proclaimed objectives to protect children from exploitation. But now, there's also COVID, which has made everything way more complicated. Detainees with symptoms are reportedly being denied tests, and no safety measures are being taken at the centers. ICE authorities have even been accused of placing healthy detainees near to those who are sick or contagious. This made detention centers a coronavirus incubator. In a single facility in Eloy, Arizona, nearly half of the staff and 240 immigrant detainees from over 1,000 tested positive for COVID-19. But the medical neglect isn't something new. It caused the death of a French woman jailed in 2011 for overstaying her visa. Irene Bamenga died of heart failure after her medicine was confiscated and requests for medical attention went unheeded. So, is anything being done amid all this mistreatment and alleged abuse? Following the recent forced sterilization allegations, more than 170 members of the Congress signed a petition calling for an immediate inquiry, while ICE has said the allegations need to be fact-checked.
So, with the allegations mounting, will ICE finally be held accountable?